Sometimes not enough time in the day to everything needs to be done with all these restrictions around us as well. But if you do feel that life is getting a little bit too heavy, then take some messages out of mayonnaise jar and 2 cups of coffee. What I need to do now is just pivot this around, and what comes into shot is a big American mayonnaise jar. Now, the caterers amongst you will know or recognize that there's no mayonnaise in that, so well done, the caterers. And the story goes something like this. Michigan State, back in the 1960s, a college professor called Tony Trainer, very crazy college professor in Michigan State, was addressing his audience of undergraduates, American students about to go to the big wide world and find out what life is really all about, equipped with the education they've just been given. He walks onto the podium in front of this lecture theatre of 50 hungry students, hungry for knowledge, and doesn't say a word, but on his lectern is an empty mayonnaise jar. He picks up a jug of golf balls. That's right, Michael, golf balls. And pours them into the jar. Until it's amazing how many golf balls you can get into a jar. We're there? Yeah, happy? Until the jar was full. And then he spoke for the first time. Now. Yeah, it's me. The jar's full, right? And the students in unison said, of course it's full, Tony. Just get the lid on top of it. Bang on full. Then the professor reached down from his lectern and gathered a jug of pebbles, poured it in, shook it around a little bit, poured it in, shook it around, and the pebbles filled the holes and the gaps between the golf balls until it goes right to the top. And then he spoke again. The jar's gotta be full now, surely. So far, so good. This is the comedy moment of the day, by the way. And the students in unison said, yes, Professor Tony, of course the jar is full. And then, my lovely people of Mellors Catering Services, he got a jug of sand. Oh, yes, he did, Michelle. And he poured it in. And it filled the spaces between the golf balls and the pebbles. Amazing how much you can get into a mayonnaise jar. Until it was full. And then he spoke for the third time. My friends, it's got to be full now, right? Of course, said the student, of course. Yes, Tony, Professor Crazy One, it is full. And then, what happened next? You might well ask. Clues in the title. 2 cups of coffee went into the jar of mayonnaise, soaking into the sand, filling the gaps between the golf balls and the pebbles, until 2 cups of coffee were also in the jar. Can you see that? Oh, yes. And the professor spoke for the 4th time. And what did he say? Okay. Now, I want you to recognize that this jar represents your life. The golf balls are the important things. Your family, your car, your children, your health. Not your car, your health. The pebbles are the other things. Your car, your house, your job. The sand is everything else, small stuff. If you put the sand into the jar first, there's no room for everything else. The same thing in life. So, set your priorities. Let's say that right. Yeah. The rest is just sand. Lessons to be learned. A student from the back of the class, back of the lecture theatre, stood up, raised a hand and said, "But Professor Tony, the crazy one, what about the coffee?" The coffee, yeah, right. I'm glad you asked. It just goes to show, no matter how full your life can get, there's always room for 2 cups of coffee with a friend.